that his administration put Nigerians in a handcuff, and it was really bad. The Naira redesign policy that was crunching, people literally died. The end-SARS protest, the insecurity that was pervading, nepotism that was witnessed, and you know that was the same period that Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinarily renditioned, where he also made remarks of the fact that the Southeast is a dot in the nation. A lot of incidences, that has to do with Buhari's administration. However, the big question now is what will happen to the CPC faction of the APC, whom former President Muhammadu Buhari was like the statesman, the person who was supposedly keeping them together. How do you think the political future of the CPC and the APC, or rather the ACN, now the APC, would be now that Buhari has passed on?
Well, Buhari has passed on and life has gone. And the reality is that we only hope that Nigerians, those in leadership position, will take this as an opportunity and understand that life is transient and we will all leave this world one day and go.
Yeah.
Irrespective of the billions that is amassed, there is always the need to think of the hereafter and what will happen when one transits. In traditional African societies, when somebody has done so much evil and so much wrong, the person is not even buried in the Igbo land. The person is either thrown into the evil forest or even hung outside there. So somebody like Buhari, if you look at the amount of calamities he's caused to families, the danger, the wrongs he has wrought on the environment, his ultra-ethnic clannishness, his past, I mean, you wonder how Nigeria survived even this character. And one thing that we have to recognize in even his death in a British hospital is that here is a man who was opportune to rule over Nigeria for over 9 years. Remember, he was a dictator for over 1 year, before 8 years as the president. And yet he could not erect a befitting or a world standard hospital in Nigeria. He had to go and die in a foreign hospital. I mean, I wonder how the British people look at this kind of characters. It's unfortunate he's dead. I will not try to glorify or make mockery of the dead, but hopefully the living, including the incumbent, will learn that we all have to live this life one day. And it is the prosperity. What will the future think about us? What will the future think about us? With regards to the question you asked about his CPC, I don't think that is even non-existent.
You think so?
All these so-called factions, they exist because of what they can tap from a person. The moment Mr. Buhari was no longer there, they found other source of income. So there's nothing like CPC or whatever. They have found their levels and they have moved on.
You don't believe that others are waiting? For example, there are talks that some persons intend to still join the ADC. They're waiting to see the party calibrate and have a firm hold before they decamp, especially those who are disgruntled, within the APC. But the thing here is, Barrister Eze Eluche, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had an agreement with these individuals, told them that for 8 years we will support you, we will support former President Muhammadu Buhari, and then afterwards I come in, Emi Lokon, it's my time, and you will also support me. But it's just 2 years after, 2 years into his first term as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and most of these persons who were part of that arrangement are already complaining. You have Babachir Lawal, you have Boss Mustafa. These were persons in the top echelon of the previous administration. They are beginning to express their discontent. Even Tambuwal and what's his name, Ali Ndume, on several occasions. These are individuals who were very close, with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, formed the APC, supported Muhammadu Buhari, but now they're not happy with Tinubu. Left for them, especially for those who are still benefiting from the APC, if there is a strong opportunity of upstaging President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027, they would actually back it up, especially if the person is the northern frontier. So why do you think it is so?
The reality is this, like I said, there is not only the parties in Nigeria for now like ideology. They are all there that are like a cabal to take over power or to take over the reins of governance. There is nothing like loyalty to anybody. I mean, the people you mentioned who are just jumping ship left, right, and center, they are out for their own individual egoistic self and not for any system. I mean, the bottom line is this. The so-called CBC were there because they thought they could grab one or two things from Buhari. Now that Buhari is dead, it is to your tents, O Israel. There is no faction, there is no whatever. They will find their means to survive. That is the unfortunate state we found politics in this country. Unfortunately, the man is dead. Muhammadu Buhari is dead. May he face his judgment with his God or whatever. But for Nigerians, the reality of his misrule, the reality of his decadent behavior, the reality of his extreme ethnocentrism, the reality that this was a man who killed Nigerians point blank when he came into office, that some parts of the country gave him 5% vote so he doesn't owe them a dime. A man who called over 60 million people of a particular race that they are mere dots. I mean, we have to be realistic. It is high time we call the spade a spade. The man is dead, he's dead. Let him go and make himself up with his God. And he shouldn't bother Nigerians any further.
All right. So, Barrister Eze Eluche, on Friday, for presidential